Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream here. Monday evening. Took a little bit of a break over the weekend, I guess. Soda is pop. Yeah, remember that tweet. People just lost it. I said it's called pop. People don't like that. You hope Obama gets charged with treason and capital punishment, but it's all just talk. I mean, that's the one thing that's like a disconnect between me and a lot of Republicans. I have no appetite for like, oh, they're gonna get Obama now. Like, how many times have they talked about prosecuting liberals and the deep state Democrats? And it's like, they're gonna have to do something for me to be moved. All the stuff they're releasing just reeks of distraction. Wall Street Journal. Oh my goodness. The Wall Street Journal has been removed from the press pool. How dare you, Donald Trump? What about the First Amendment? Did you see the Nelk boys crying? Yeah, I saw that. Well, I don't know what they were thinking doing that podcast. Maybe they just got a misread. I know they went to Israel and, they're not too political, so Israel is just so hated with young people and young men. And so for them to do that, I mean, that was a tone deaf thing. I don't think they really realized it. And it's almost remarkable how the script has flipped. It's like they don't want you to talk to Netanyahu, but now they want you to talk to Fuentes. And so the Nelk guys, because they were just getting destroyed, they had to bring Fuentes on to do an emergency podcast or whatever. It's just all so ridiculous. Like, now it's like they're not allowing you to talk to Netanyahu. It's funny how it flipped, but yeah, I don't know, man. Comey is crying his daughter for being fired. Yeah, it's Comey's a loose cannon. He's a weirdo. Remember what he did when he made that threat against Trump? Trump needs to stop talking about the names of sports teams and things that nobody cares about. Focus on things that we need settled. Yeah, I mean, it's a culture thing. Sneeko and Hassan got on Nelk Boys too. Oh, I didn't see when they got on. I just saw when Fuentes got on. Check any Ukraine war bets is the best to. What do you mean Ukraine war bets on Polymarket? I don't think there's any, man. Honestly. Well, I'm sure there is some, but I just don't care. You seen the clip of Hunter Biden? Yeah, I saw that. I'm gonna go to that, dude. I got it. I got it saved on here. There's some good Hunter Biden stuff. Hunter Biden is like, we're changing the Democratic platform. We will be running on in 2028 using taxpayer money to go to Venezuela. We're gonna send our armies to Venezuela, not to invade. Or no, El Salvador. We're gonna send our armies to El Salvador, not to invade El Salvador, but to invade the prisons and take all the prisoners and bring them back to the United States and just let them roam free as part of like a white guilt ritual. So that's what Hunter Biden wants to do. So that's where the Democrats are at now. So now they're saying we want the illegal immigrant criminals to come back to the United States and we're just going to set them all free. MLK files obvious distraction from Epstein. Oh yeah, that's not even a question. They're you don't just they're sitting on this 2,000 or whatever it is 20,000 pages. They've been sitting on this for a while, and you have a situation like this, and dude, people got angry at me. This is like, bro, how do you not see this? Come on, this is ridiculous. They're like, oh, this is important stuff, dude. It's like, seriously, you don't think it's a little bit of a coincidence? This is when they're releasing it. Did you see the stocks going up today? People were telling me the stocks were going up. Yeah. price of eating out is insane. Yeah, I mean, one meal eating out at a decent restaurant's gonna be like $40 with the tipping culture now. 35 maybe. Is anything in the MLK files? I don't know. There's like 20,000 pages, so it's the same thing that happened. It's the same. They'll release the files just like with JFK, and then it takes like a day to actually go through them and find the juicy stuff. So I don't know. They're gonna try and find something. I mean, if you release 20,000 pages, you're never gonna be able to go through all of it. Maybe with AI or something. Hillary was never jailed. Well, none of them are jailed. That's the problem. They say they're gonna jail him, and Trump tweets out these memes now about Obama going to prison with the AI memes. I'm sure you guys have seen them. It's like something's gonna have to happen. Would 9/11 files get the Epstein stuff off the headlines? Yeah, I mean it depends what's in them, but well, I'd be very interested in the 9/11 files just because that's something that I made a lot of videos about. It's just a very something that I studied, and so I mean, if they release, I think the 9/11 files would be in relation to Saudi Arabia. There's Saudi involvement in 9/11. People don't really understand. See, the whole new thing now is like, oh, it's 100% Israel's fault. Well, I mean, there's involvement by foreign nations, I agree, but there's some serious involvement by Saudi Arabia in 9/11, and I think they would probably release stuff in relation to that. I mean, that's what Biden did. If you look at what they had to unseal in 2022, they unsealed 9/11 documents in relation to Saudi involvement. Basent is pissed at Powell. Well, he's always angry at Powell. So this was a thing. Wall Street Journal has been removed from the White House. So definitely liberals will use this. Donald Trump hates the First Amendment. Let's get the talking points. Yes. Okay, we're good. I saw this. So there's these people protesting. I think they're protesting the amount of sexual assaults or something, and relating it to the migrants that come into the city. And so this liberal woman is like concerned locals, like trying to make fun of them, where 1 in 8 are white sex offenders. So she's trying to be like, well, white people commit the crimes too. 1 in 8 in a heavily white city. She's like, well, 1 in 8. It's like, I don't even know what this. It's like, what point are you trying to prove? Here's Hunter Biden saying he would invade El Salvador because we need. I mean, this is like we're disgusting white people. We need the prisoners to come in and liberate us. I mean, how dare us? We're colonizers. We need this for our country. This is the liberal policy. This is what they want to bring back all the criminals, and it's a big thing for them. And they have white guilt. I mean, how dare Trump deport any of these people? It's horribly racist. It's just disgusting. Anything on Alberta recently? I haven't seen anything recent. I mean, I think the vote is next year, honestly, so it's going to be a while probably. Do you think Biden tampered with the Epstein files? I mean, it would be hard for them not to. It probably was tampered with before Biden even got in, honestly. I mean, this is a uniparty thing. You only think, or you've heard so far, that really might be where Epstein and Trump are connected is Trump's Miss Universe stuff in the 90s mirrors Epstein's M2 model. Yeah, no, that I have heard of that as well, but I don't think. I mean, dude, if you look at the context of Trump bringing up Epstein, I would be shocked if there's any really horrible thing. I think it's more of a government uniparty thing. It's a uniparty cover up, and it's bigger than Trump. Unfortunately, I know people thought Trump was different, and that's why a lot of people are angry. Did the administration dig itself into a hole it can't get out of because no matter what they release, people will never trust? Well, dude, there's already people saying that they're already getting over it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a few people, but I've seen people where they're like, oh, it's they're trying to. they're trying to minimize the Epstein stuff by saying, well, they're trying to unseal the court documents. There's nothing else they can do. And so there are Republicans already trying to explain it away. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Republicans versus Democrats. That's what the country is. And so no matter what, it's like, are you really going to be a Democrat? Or you know, I know it's a moral thing. You'd like to see Trump actually be different than just being part of the government. But it's like, well, a lot of these people just move on. They just move on. Do you think Trump has the stomach to pull off an arrest on Obama and his previous administration? I mean, yeah, it's a question. I mean, because he didn't do anything to Hillary. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When is Trump going to put an end to chemtrails in U.S. skies? Never mentioned it. I mean, I don't know. If he's not mentioned it, it's probably not on the top of his list. Mm-hmm. Can't believe you live in Vermont. I wonder what the weather like in Vermont is. Probably a bit colder. I don't know. It's probably pretty hot everywhere. Netanyahu on the Nelk Boys. Just what a weird podcast to do, honestly. Just why would it's just it seems like they really don't know who their viewer base is. Screenshots this: if he arrests Obama, you'll donate 1,000. I don't need your money. I have no confidence he's gonna arrest Obama. They say he's got immunity, presidential immunity, but then people say, well, it was after, it was after Obama left office, so I don't know. It's the cover up of powerful people. Trump is changing their story, potentially compromising the government so bad. Yeah, I know it's a big thing, and it involves foreign governments too. It's terrible. Storm chasing is big money. No, I wouldn't do storm chasing. You don't want to do that. You go to Oklahoma, you could do that, but it's that's like you got to know what you're doing. You get into one of those things with the winds. Netanyahu on Talk to that would be the ultimate collab. Netanyahu on Rogan. Rogan could have Netanyahu on. I mean, he'd get a ton of backlash, but if you're the biggest podcast, what can they really do? Don't you worry Trump is being too pro city police? Well, the problem is with in big cities you would do have to be very pro police just because the population density of them. If you're not, things tend to spiral out of control. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of crime in major cities because of how many people live there. Netanyahu on Impulsive. I haven't seen a clip from Impulsive in years with Logan Paul. Remember that? Impulsive. It is kind of a good podcast name, honestly. Have you heard about the Mexican president wanting to sue ICE for an illegal Mexican being killed by an ICE? No, I haven't. But who cares? What does it matter? An illegal Mexican? I mean, that's irrelevant in terms of anything coming of that. That's of serious consequence. I mean, this is like the deportation. I think there's such. I'm gonna do a video talking about the immigration issue, and it's just so massive and so encompassing. It's bigger than deporting 1 million people a year. This goes back many decades, and the amount of immigrants we've taken in the country, and even Hunter Biden during that interview, you can tell Hunter Biden has zero understanding of the history of our demographical makeup and our immigration policy. And I know he's like a crackhead or whatever, but this is like the president's son. He has no clue what he's talking about. So it's just demoralizing. Would you rather have the Commanders change back to the Redskins or the Guardians change back to the Indians? Oh, the Guardians to the Indians. Yeah, that one's obvious for me. That one would be obvious because the Commanders I think is a bad name, but the Indians is such a better name than the Guardians. The Guardians is like a freaking sounds like a third grade name. The Indians sounds like a legitimate team. And that's really what the Guardians have become. I mean, they don't, they always were kind of cheap, but now they don't spend any money. They're like the little team. It's just have you been paying attention to the Minneapolis mayoral race? Yeah, it's another situation like Mondani, Captain Phil. Yeah, right. And the Somalian. Listen, when you get demographics like the demographics they have in major cities, this is going to happen more and more. And the question is, if liberals are all right with this, I mean, this is what's, the living quality is going to go down significantly. So if you're all right with that, then it's what happens when you drastically change demographics in cities. It's happening in the country, but the major cities it happens way more violently than suburbs or rural areas. And so you see people like Mondani and this Somalian and Minneapolis. I mean, they had said, didn't they say it was? Oh no, that was Michigan, or it was the Muslims in Michigan, I think. Yeah, there's like just weird, like there's Somalians moving to Minnesota. Like, I mean, what is going on? It's You think it would be so cool if they changed back to the Redskins? Yeah, and there's definitely some, the reason the Redskins are their name is from a chief, and the family of the chief wants them to change back to the Redskins. It's very interesting. But, now there's money involved. These billionaires, this new billionaire owner, they're trying to promote the Commanders. Oh, we've sold all the merch, and we spent all this money on a uniform rebrand, so we can't do it. Obama was having crazy treasonous meetings. I mean, yeah, like this is the thing, man. Okay, this is the thing. And maybe it is too complicated, but if there actually is legitimate stuff on Obama, the party needs to come out and say in a few sentences, this is what Obama did. We have the proof. This is what he did. So then everyone can understand. Instead of you releasing all this different stuff, and they had these meetings that may or may not have. We need just you need to tell us the tagline, so so we can because when you release all this stuff and it's like they had these meetings and they were talking about, well, maybe it's like you need to coherently come out with the talking point on the reason Obama did this and why it was bad. And they're treating it like this massive cover up. I don't know. But again, even the Obama stuff, it's so weak because it just seems like it's a distraction from the Epstein situation. And like would this stuff be coming out right now if it wasn't for the Epstein flub? I highly doubt it. To summarize the MLK files, MLK has died and is not coming back and has been dead for a while. I know that's pretty much it. But don't worry, it was 20,000 pages. No, it's like something about orgies and stuff with MLK. Dude, I saw this house. This is a disgusting looking home. 400,000. They're like, how is this only 400,000? This home needs a massive renovation. Just look at it. This looks like an old banquet hall, man. This looks like a banquet hall. Pink carpeting, that would have to go. This would all have to come out. What is that, a ritual? It's like a stage. It's some type of stage. An indoor pool. They got to replace the liner. The left hates white people, not the West white people. Particularly white men. I think we know that. You're gonna buy it once crypto takes off. Yeah, I'm looking, dude. I'm gonna get a new car, but I really have to wait to get a new car. But I'm looking at a Cadillac CT5, I think. But I'm not gonna buy it yet because it's gonna put too much of a dent into my bank account right now. I need to wait until I make money in crypto before I can buy it. I mean, technically I could buy it, but it just doesn't. I'm just not. I'm not someone that. I'd rather have more of a runway than I have in my bank account for it. Indoor pools are nice. Yeah, no, indoor pools are cool. You should look up Mike Tyson's abandoned mansion, the indoor pools, and that. It was a sweet. He had a really cool pool room. It was like a cheap ass mansion in Ohio. I would visit it, dude, but the problem is they refurbished it. It was a cool abandoned mansion, the Mike Tyson mansion. MLK, JFK, RFK, they were life-changing men, but they're deceased. We can't change the past, so MLK files doesn't matter. Well, it's also like it doesn't really. What does it really do for any of us? And then I titled the stream this. Oh yeah, this is good, but it's just like it just seems inauthentic, is what it is. And then people still try and cope to me and say, no, this is big. I don't know. Maybe there's just a disconnect between me and the base. You can buy this for $1. This would have to be there'd have to be a ton of renovation work into this. This doesn't even make sense. The shape of this is like it's not worth it. The shape of this is I'm not interested because you think about 400k plus I don't even know 150 200k in renovation work. All right, so here it is. After 60 years of questions surrounding the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., 230,000. Do you think MLK would have ran for president had he not been unalived? I don't know. A car will always drain the account for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Especially you buy a new car, it's immediately going to lose value. I mean, but you know, buying a nice car is it's just if you want to get a nice sedan nowadays, a new sedan, it's 50,000. Like the baseline could be 48, 47. Maybe a Tesla might be a little bit less, but I'm not interested in Tesla. But you want to get a nice sedan, you're looking at 40 around 48 to 50 for the base variant in 2020 like the 2026 new version. You could get a gently used 2023 or 2024 in the 30s, maybe like 10 20,000 miles. So, but it's going to run you. I mean, that's the reality. There's no denying it. Remember when you visited that abandoned pedo car club? Yeah, that was fun because that was a great. It was at night and it was in the fall. Yeah, no, I remember that. But that was a it was a there was a it was a nothing burger. It was barely anything there. If you buy a car you really like, keep it 10 years and it doesn't have any major issues, it's really not that expensive. No, I hear you. I think, getting a new car is something that, because I just want a nice interior. I'm not a big car person. I'm just going to get the, I think the CT5 or something. That's probably what I'll end up getting. Maybe I'll find a sedan that I just like the exterior look of it. And then I just want a nice interior. That's basically it. It's not, and I don't need a big engine or anything like a V8. With all due respects to MLK, Epstein is just so much more important and relevant at the current juncture. Well, obviously, I mean, this is why I tweeted out. It's a it's a shameless distraction, and now suddenly Tulsi Gabbard's making all this news about Obama getting charged and all this breaking stuff on the Russian hoax. I mean, it's obvious they're trying to distract people. So I mean, maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll have to see. It doesn't even have to be a distraction. People just forget about stuff or they stop caring about it after a certain period of time. And I'm not talking about like after a month. I'm talking about if normally after like a week, people stop caring about it. It's just time. As the time passes, people just, they don't care. Trump retracts MLK files, calls them a Democrat hoax. Yeah, that's something I never understand. I still don't really understand what Trump means by hoax. I think he means it's a hoax like he's in them. I think that's what he means, but here's 199. Buy yourself a soda, not pop. Yeah, that tweet. But I mean, dude, listen. This is Ohio. In Ohio, it's called pop, and it really makes sense that it's called pop when you think about it. It makes sense. I mean, this is we've always grown up. It's been pop, but you look at Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, into the Great Plains. We all call it pop. It's always been pop. In the South they say every pop is Coke. Every beverage is just a Coke. And then in other places that are just random, they say soda. Why do cars cost so much? Ridiculous. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you could get a well, I don't know. I haven't really looked at the prices of those, but you could get a downscaled, because I'm trying to get a pretty nice sedan. You could probably get a 2026 Chevy Malibu, although even those seem to run like 35 to 40 now. Those are running pretty high even just a base level normal sedan, but if it's new, it's gonna run you into it has to be into the high 30s, honestly, the mid to high 30s for any decent sedan that's new. Pittsburgher here, we call it pop till we die. It makes sense. It just makes sense that way. When you grow up on something and it makes sense, it's.
And are the incredible beneficiaries of that new blood that enters our bloodstream year after year after year. The only thing that makes us different from fucking China or Russia or anywhere else or Europe or anywhere, and the only reason that I believe that we as America are different beyond the fact of the idea of the Constitution, the idea that we represent, is immigration. And I can't even believe sometimes I'm having this discussion with anybody. How do you think that we are reborn every generation? How do you think that we attract the smartest people in the world to...
Again, this is the president's son, or the previous president's son. He has zero clue of historical U.S. immigration policy. Absolutely none. Just none. And how restrictive it was, and how it became the best country and the most powerful country
to the United States of America through immigration. I mean, you sit here and just think about it. You got some motherfucker who's made over, what, $251 billion being a United States citizen that got here and stayed here illegally before he got his citizenship, sitting here lecturing us on who we should allow into the United States of America and giving us a fucking Heil Hitler along the way. Are you fucking kidding?
The salute. You don't care about Obama or MLK files. You want Epstein. Makes me angry. They think we're stupid. Oh, yeah. And I've already seen rhetoric from people saying, forget about it and stuff like that. And, it's demoralizing. They try and put it under the rug. But, yeah, it's tough, man. I hear you. And that's the thing. It's like, well, MLK, Obama, now there's all this random stuff. And it's so blatantly obvious. It's shameless. It really is shameless. Nelk boys are super obnoxious. Glad we have. You're happy you have me? Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, well, that Nelk boys stuff, I don't know what they thought they were doing. I mean, you think about how bad that was for the Nelk boys. They had to have known, because that was a pre-recorded interview. They had to have known it was going to be pretty bad, because they did an emergency stream, and then they have Fuentes on, and I guess Hassan and Myron Gaines and all these people and Sneeko. It's like they're trying to save face mid-interview right after it gets released. So I think they knew it was like probably in terms of their audience it was going to go badly, but Trump should make smoking inside legal again. Thank you for the $5 donation. Trump could arguably risk his own assassination with the Epstein files. Just a theory on why they haven't been released. No, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. You know, I've always believed it's a very very complicated thing, and there is also probably blackmail against Trump. I mean, if Trump releases them, his there might be a serious thing that happens to Trump. I don't know about assassination, but there could be something that comes out about him that's really bad. I mean, there's all of these different options, because who knows how really bad these files are, and the public reaction and who gets exposed in them, and it would potentially change dynamics and relationships with countries. I mean, it could be extremely important. So that's definitely a thing to look at. You promise subscriber count since you're so close. Yeah, I will put it up at some point, dude. It's just like the thing is it's moving at a slow pace. I just hit 297, and it's probably going to be early August. Is 300, as if I had to guess. Probably early August, unless I get a video. I mean, it's always possible you get a bigger video, and then it'll happen sooner. But right now, it seems like it's going to be early August. It's most likely blackmail on his family. Yeah, there's also been speculation that it might not even be Trump. It might be people within his family. Nelk Boys clips. Yeah, I'll go to him. Nelk Boys are trending.
It's a good point. Someone said having Netanyahu on is like having modern day Hitler.
No, I saw that.
Which is honestly, guys, I'll be honest. I'm here to. It's a good point. I like. We're here to fucking learn, to be honest, guys.
Oh my dude, these guys is.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself, then they jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all, and then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their terror machine.
They actually took a trip too. That's. Would you ever call your second channel Depressed Ginger Crypto? I don't see the point in bringing that into it, honestly. Putin is worse than Netanyahu, though. Nobody gave a shit when Carlson interviewed. Yeah, the Netanyahu stuff is getting pretty remarkable. It's almost like, at least with some of these people, like, you're not allowed to talk to him. I mean, think about it. They interviewed him, and then they had to immediately have on Fuentes after it to try and, like, and their base is just all young men, and just young men just fucking hate Israel. You have a bad feeling about Israel, no proof, something feels off. What, in relation to Epstein? Or just in general? I mean, there was a report that Trump was pissed off they struck Syria, and Trump didn't know about it. I don't know how true that is. Axios reported that. Dude, these people in crypto are these people are bots, I swear. I'm having these comments. It's crazy. It's just the same coins over and over again. They tell me, it's like, bro. Israel needs a new president just so Israel can catch a break. It wouldn't matter. But they say, well, people of Israel don't like Netanyahu. Maybe he'll get removed. Trump loves him. There is such an uncomfortable gray area where there's a dark cloud following Trump's administration and it won't go away. Yeah, I mean it's the timing of it, It's just the timing of it. It's just like we're in this terrible thing, and I don't see how Trump is going to get out of this honestly without there being a problem. It says Trump's second term net approval hits a new low, and this is the other thing they were trying to say. Well, Trump has this great approval. There's no way. They were trying to psyop people and say, well, oh, the Republicans approve of what Trump is doing with the Epstein stuff. Even some staunch Israel supporters like Michael Knowles are getting sick of them. They bombed the only Catholic church in Gaza again last week. I know. That was a big story, and yeah, I think I saw a clip about Knowles get angry about it. So, the Daily Wire, they've lost. It's just because of Shapiro, but you're under the Shapiro umbrella. That those voices are really not taken seriously. But I mean, at least they're being impartial on that, I guess. Why does Trump continually dig the grave deeper every time he talks about Epstein? It's really bad. Would almost be better if he shut the fuck up. Yeah, I mean, definitely it's been worse, but I don't think Trump's really been said much the past few days about Epstein. But no, I mean, it definitely was really bad. Um, in terms of what Trump's been saying about them or about Epstein and the files, and he's just gaslighting the base basically. And I think he's gonna stop talking about it. I think they're gonna try and force it to go away. They're gonna unseal some type of documents, and that's gonna be the end of it. I don't know what documents are being unsealed, if it's court stuff, or, whether or not anything will be revealed. I don't think people really think anything's gonna come of it. They'll unseal some stuff, but you say the Epstein stuff won't go away. What does it look like for the next year or 2 terms of Trump's status? Well, I don't think Trump's running in 2028, if that's what you're asking. I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, the time is it's gonna force it away to a degree, but it's always gonna be there as this it's gonna be a cloud over the administration. I mean, anytime you bring it up, it's just now people can choose how much they care about it, and there's gonna be a lot of Republicans that say, well, we really don't care about it. It's about everyday making Americans' lives better. You're gonna hear a lot of that rhetoric for sure. And it's going to kind of go away from this administration. And they are unsealing certain files to try and keep the idea that they're the most transparent administration. But the Epstein stuff is just, it's hurt their credibility significantly. You're a pretty big Ben Shapiro fan, but his adamant defense of Trump on Epstein has been frustrating. Well, yeah, dude, it's the Israel stuff. Right? We knew that Shapiro was going to defend Trump on that. All the Israel people are. They want that to go away. That shouldn't be surprising with Shapiro. And Shapiro has definitely lost a lot of people since the war with Palestine has started. When will Ohio legalize weed? I have no clue. I don't really want. I don't want it legalized. I just don't like the smell of it. I don't smoke weed. Hardcore Trump supporters and pro-Israel people are telling everyone to move on and forget. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more Trump supporters start to say, you need to move on from the situation. You need to move on, and I mean that's what happens as time passes. But no matter what, it's going to be a bad look for their administration. I mean, it's just a bad look for the U.S. government in general, with the Biden and the Trump and the covering up of this. You want SWAT teams chasing around weed smokers because you don't like the smell? That's a great wow. That's a great idea. I should. I'm gonna credit you with that idea. You just solved the weed smoking. I mean, why are you so over dramatic? I mean, it smells disgusting. I'm sure you smoke a lot. No one will be able to smoke in public anyway. It doesn't matter. You go downtown, you smell weed all over the place. It's the smell of it. Moving doesn't accomplish anything. If anything, moving on loses the base's leverage over Trump administration to get them to do things. Well, they can still. I'm sure they'll still do things. I mean, they're not gonna. But like at some point, I mean, 4 months from now, is this going to be as big of a story if Trump shuts up about it? No, it's not. 33 years old here. Mary Jane is a gateway drug. Yeah, I just stay away from that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people think it's cool. Weed ice. Yeah, that's what the dude. That's what the dude said. What about vapes that don't smell? I haven't really looked into vapes and how bad they are for you. But I mean, vapes in terms of yeah, I don't think they smell nearly as bad. I never vaped either. Is the Epstein situation going to be for Trump's approval rating what the withdrawal from Afghanistan was for? I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so. The Biden stuff was so compounding just with his health. I mean, at a certain point, a lot of Democrats were like, it's not. There's just nothing there with Biden. It wasn't even the Democrats. It was independents. Biden wouldn't be able to go out and do press conferences because he just couldn't communicate properly. So when you have something like that, you're not. People will think they're being played for fools. Like, how can we approve of this? This guy cannot communicate to the people. So, I mean, it was a different situation. It wasn't just the Afghanistan. I mean, if there's other compounding problems with the Trump administration, I guess you could say that. But I don't see it. I mean, I think the economy's in a relatively good spot. There's a lot of levers to the economy for sure, but I think the economy's in a relatively good spot. I think they will end up doing possibly 2 rate cuts by the end of the year. We've gotten a lot of quality jobs added to the economy since Trump took over as well. A lot of quality full-time work. A lot of studies for how nicotine is good for you. Yeah, ask Tucker Carlson. He's obsessed with it. Alt season, yeah. I mean, I think alt season's it's gonna have to happen, man. It has to happen. It's a guarantee. It's just you got to stay in. You have to wait 3 or 4 months, I think. We just need acceleration. Hillary 2028. Hillary's gonna make a comeback. I saw Bernie Sanders was in some of the polls for 2028. That's amazing. Have you heard of the Finders cult? No, I haven't. Gas is still high though, really? Gas is very it fluctuates a ton since Trump has took over. But it'll fluctuate low. It'll go from like 270 to 309 to like 339. It's fluctuated like a full dollar since Trump came in, but it's relatively gone down. Gas should be down for most people. I mean, it depends which area you're in. You know, different states have different laws on gas and taxes on it and stuff like that. So that affects it. Cigarettes do stink. I know, but you don't really smell much cigarettes anymore. The cigarettes have kind of been phased out. They had a successful campaign against cigarettes and lung cancer that they caused. I don't you don't see too many. Maybe I don't go in the right areas, but cigarettes in general, they're not really a thing that they're at the point to where they're so frowned upon in public. It just doesn't happen very much. It's almost like I smell. You go downtown, you'll smell marijuana smoke more than cigarettes. Picture of Muhammad Ali scared you when you were a child. Dead eyes. I know it's like it's like the perfect terrorist photo. Like the dude does look pretty creepy in it. Recession odds collapse 70% to 19%, lowest ever recorded on Polymarket. What does that mean? Lowest ever recorded? I think they just started that 5 months ago. I wouldn't really take much stock into it being the lowest, but certainly, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have a recession. It would have to be Q3, Q4 because Q2 is going to be positive, so it can't be because they said Q1 was a small contraction, but Q2 is going to be positive, so they have to say Q3, Q4. If you're talking about a recession in 2025, it would have to be Q3, Q4. That'd be the only chance of it. So of course it's going to be low. I mean, will you do a video on Flight 93? I've done several videos on that. Where the heck do you live where it's frowned upon? You see people every day smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes in public has been something that it's been filtered out of the population. Latest GDP Q2 it's like plus 2.2. It was lowered. It was like 3.5 to 4. I don't know, honestly. I just looked at it a few weeks ago. It was like plus 2.2 from what I saw. Yeah, did you see they had I forgot about this. Charlie XCX, who the fuck is this? Like some woman rapper? I don't know. She got $1 million to tweet this. Kamala is Brett. So that's what they spent it on. It's like the culture thing, I guess. $1 million for a tweet. JD Vance versus Hunter Biden 2028. Yeah, Hunter Biden is now like in second place in betting and for the 2028. People really like Hunter. I mean, after he said that we were going to take all the criminals back and flood the country with them, that's going to raise him significantly. What's this boomer XRP? Oh yeah, it's just complete boomer nonsense. XRP. Yeah, stay away from XRP. It's always been one of the most famous alts. Really it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, but nobody likes Ethereum, so it's Bitcoin, XRP. Those are like the big mainstream. Obviously, Bitcoin's in a different league, but Benny Johnson and Tucker Carlson turned MAGA into a cancel culture of who hates Epstein the most, took the fun off of MAGA. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, they're asking for accountability. I mean, it's I can understand if you think, well, if you put out 5 videos a day about Epstein, that's a bit aggressive. I would agree because that's what Benny Johnson was doing. But I mean, it's just government accountability, man. It looks really bad from the administration. It is what it is. But Carlson has gone further right, and so he's starting to criticize Trump more. It's like that Jubilee video. They give all these are far right people. And then the prompts are all these far right people having to defend Trump. These far right people, they don't like Trump. You know, that's what you have to realize. Are we at the point where thinking weed is healthier than cigarettes is somehow officially millennial boomer horseshit myth? Well, I think it's changed a bit, but I don't know. I don't think it's to that point. I think cigarettes are still phased out completely, honestly. But I think people are getting fatigued by all the weed hype and just it's just weed is just it's not it makes you very submissive. It's a waste of time. It dulls your brain. And look, different people react to it in different ways. So maybe people, it helps some people, I guess. But I think the weed hype was a bit much, and people got sick of it. They got fatigued by it. Daryl Cooper, historian that was on Tucker's. Yeah, he's let's ask questions kind of guy about Israel and about World War II. And, some of the stuff about Churchill is just not true. At least I don't think it is from the perspective that I know. And even, and I'm not someone that this is like this huge Israel shill or anything, but like, I mean, it was a very complicated thing. But, if you have a country that invades in Europe and they invade multiple countries, there's probably going to be a reaction from other European countries. They're not just going to allow that. Did you know Trump met Melania at Lolita Express? Yeah, that's a complete horseshit. Well, it's not completely discredited. Epstein is the only one that says it. I've looked into that. So wherever you got that from, it's very likely wrong. I own 50k XRP. What would 50k XRP be? What is it, like 300k? What is XRP at, like $3.50 right now? 50k XRP. What is going on with NASDAQ 420 times? No. You don't want to sell now. No, it's going through a retracement. It's going through a little bit of a pullback. But most of Ethereum's still doing fine. There should be money dumped back into it. Approximately 11% of U.S. adults aged 18 and older smoked cigarettes based on data. 15% smoked marijuana. 11 versus 50. Yeah, I mean, it's similar. But those are probably a lot of people that smoking cigarettes are very old. The younger people do marijuana. It's funny seeing liberals melting down on Trump being a Nazi when the far right hates Trump for being the most pro-Jew president. It's a very interesting dynamic for sure. Ion 5100. Have you looked into that? It's an interesting agent. I was impressed by the agent. That's why I made that video. Lost all respect for Charlie Kirk for being a shill. You don't like him anymore. He has no credibility. Well, I mean, I'll just tell you, Charlie got a phone call from Trump and he said, we're handling it. And, you still want to be my supporter and all that. And he said, you better support me. So Charlie Kirk's like, all right, people don't like Charlie Kirk, bro. I get it. But when you're in that position and you get a call from Trump, you can say he's a pussy, but do you believe Trump is a Christian? Well, he says he's a Christian. You know, people can speculate on. What is Trump, a Protestant? Do you prefer Biao or CSI 888? That's a weird question. Probably Biao, dude. I don't know. I haven't looked at CSI recently. Is CSI still alive? I haven't looked at it recently, man. Biao is still alive. You would think. I mean, it's the #1 meme in China. No, that's not true. That was false. He didn't convert. He didn't convert in 2017. That was a fake story. That's a fake story, man. At least Kirk made his own company and doesn't take money from Cutter like Tucker Carlson. Yeah, but I don't even know where did that even come from? I don't think Tucker takes money from there, man. I think that's a fake media smear against Carlson. I mean, I'm not saying Carlson's perfect, but it's like, why do this? Why the fake media smears? What coin needs a CTO? Um, I think that Bitcoin 2.0 could use a CTO. You would think, like, you look at that Bitcoin 2.0 or that original Pepe coin that I was talking about. Any of these influencers that bow down to Trump don't have a spine. You're allowed to be critical of a president. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of the party is split. It's kind of a mess right now. But you know, it's people are gonna get phone calls by Trump. They're gonna be influenced by him. You know, it's a little intimidating when you get a phone call from someone like that. Can't believe some people actually think Trump is Christian. He says that just for his base. Well, I mean, I don't judge other people and what they say with their religion is, you know, he says he's a Christian. I don't know what to tell you. You can say he's a fake Christian, but thoughts on Charlie Kirk being on Tucker? I didn't see that. That's interesting. Did that happen? A Litecoin will 10x? I don't think so, man. Still small market cap? Dude, come on. They call it silver. Well, they call Ethereum silver, really. But yeah, I remember Litecoin back in 2017. I would stay away from Litecoin. It's a very high market cap. You can't compare its market cap. Bitcoin's an entirely different entity, and I wouldn't say it's silver to Bitcoin. Trump told Kushner he converted at the Wailing Wall. Come on. Whatever anyone says, anti-Semitism is a big part of the Epstein deal. Some people won't be happy until a dirty, money-hungry Jew is behind it all. Well, I mean, the Epstein thing, it seems kind of, you know, when you look at the problem with the Epstein thing, this is where it kind of loses people, is how Epstein got his money, and he got it from Wexner. And so why would Wexner need to fund him and give him power of attorney? And he was so underqualified to have that type of money and be in that control of all that money. It's just, did you see what Trump said last night? He said, "Turn on Fox News and watch Mark Levin right now." Boomer DNA, boomer coded. The most boomer tweet in history. Turn on Fox News and listen to Mark Levin right now. Um, I'll be right back.
Cycle.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a lot to run against, given the other party. But I will tell you this, we better be united, we better be strong, we better be focused, we better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate you very, very much.
You too, Mark. Thanks for all you do. God bless. Cycle.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a lot to run against, given the other party. But I will tell you this, we better be united, we better be strong, we better be focused, we better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate you very, very much.
You too, Mark. Thanks for all you do. God bless. Cycle.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a
You want to see BB at McDonald's?
McDonald's, and to be honest, Burger King. I like Burger King more.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
No, I'll tell you, Burger King. We did the double,
Whopper?
The double.
I haven't ripped Burger King in a long
It's
time.
not.
Burger
they call
King
it
kind of
something
sucks.
Yeah.
No,
B-
you're wrong.
The BK Lounge can hit. If
I
you're-
disagree completely.
You like
I
Burger
mean,
King over McDonald's?
That's your
Absolutely.
worst take, I think.
Absolutely.
That's a crazy take.
No,
not
that
gonna
was
lie.
fine. I mean, I like
That's your
Burger King.
worst
The answer
take.
is yes. And we go.
Oh man, you gotta Steiny. Steiny hits us hard. All of these true Christians cheating on their wives and PDF files at church, virtue signaling. Trump's not a real Christian. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problem with people and the narcissism and fake behavior. You're just gonna get that. But I mean, people are skeptical on Trump. I know a lot of people have been skeptical on Trump and his Christianity. And look, I don't really get into other people's religion and try and dissect it. Yeah, I don't like Burger King either, man. I don't know the last time I had Burger King. Maybe we never had Burger King ever. Maybe I've had it once or twice. CEO at Coldplay concert, you thought it was Gavin Newsom and Jill Biden. Yeah, I mean, it did kind of look like Jill a little bit. That is true. A real-time experiment on whether third world immigration is going to impact. It's going to get annihilated, man. This is ridiculous. Trump, Gaza International Hotel will have a McDonald's for Trump and Burger King for Netanyahu. Yeah, they'll be like right next to each other. All right, we'll go to Colin. Yeah, I like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is good.
This week, I want to offer some thoughts about justice. The Justice Department's ability to protect the American people depends upon a gift that every employee gets when they join the department. It's a gift they may not know they're getting until the first time they stand up and identify themselves as a justice employee and say something, whether that's in a courtroom or at a conference or at a cookout. and they find that total strangers believe what they say next. They're believed because when they speak, they aren't seen as Republicans or Democrats. Instead, they're seen as something separate and apart in American life. A group of people just trying to do the right thing. For years, I've described that gift as a reservoir of trust and credibility. Fear.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy is just.
And these is just regular shorts. This is how I walk through the airport. This is how I walk through the airport with these shorts on. With my robe. This is exactly how I have my clothes.
Your boarding pass, please.
As Tanasia Grayer approached the Spirit ticket counter, tensions quickly grew. She was just told she wouldn't be allowed on her flight back to Chicago.
I'm right here. You need to get out my face. You don't have to address me like that. You can say whatever you need to say from right there. You don't have to get in my face.
You don't get to tell me what to do.
And you don't get to tell me what to do.
Grayer says it all started over this outfit she wore to the airport. She says she wore similar shorts while traveling on a plane to Miami on Sunday.
We were getting ready to board the plane, and the lady at the front desk, she stopped me and said, "You're not getting on a plane like that." So I looked at her and I said, "Like what?"
It's Spirit Airlines. Yeah, that checks out.
For those of you on the right-hand side, you probably saw the airplane kind of sort of coming at us. Nobody told us about it, and so we continued, and air traffic. There's no radar here, so the tower is controlled, or excuse me, the tower does everything visually, and so they said.
Yeah, that is another thing with people. They're not dressed properly for an airport. I mean, how can you not just dress normal? That's another thing. People dress like slobs. It's a common take that people have had, I know, but I agree with it. I think you should at least dress in some type of clothing that is passable. I mean, people go in their fucking pajamas. We dress like shit in America. Yeah, I agree. It is what it is, but certainly you compare it to other times, other decades, and it's really bad in terms of just the common whatever people wear. Well, there doesn't have to be a dress code. It's just there should be a common balance in terms of properly dressing, I guess. You kind of like wearing a suit and tie occasionally? Really? Just randomly? Tattoos and gross gym clothes? Well, the clothes can change. The tattoos are just terrible. Even on men, I think, it depends where it's at. But if you've got tattoos on your arms, it's a big problem. What do you usually eat every day? I've been eating Chipotle a lot. Pretty healthy food, honestly, like really healthy. But I don't really have a kind of weird diet. But yeah, I don't really eat much, honestly. Did you see the Japanese politician that is claiming Japan first? Really? They have a movement going there now. Japan first. What's a right-wing guy? Have you seen Ariana Grande turn into... Yeah, it's very sad what happened to Ariana Grande. It's body dysmorphia, anorexia, looks like. I don't know exactly what it is. It's very bad. The bit about Nazi bond system to build up military. Yeah, it was very elaborate. I was, I had learned about that a while ago because I wanted to know how they actually had done it. in such a quick period of time. So they didn't actually pay for it. They'd give out contracts to weapons producers, and then eventually they would pay them. And they paid a lot of it through plunder of other countries. They were, some of those came due in 38 and 39, and they paid some of them. They did, but it was like a 4% interest rate. What's the best movies coming out? I don't know. People were trying to tell me what the best movies were. I didn't really see any good ones. I'm pretty much at a loss for movies at this point. I can't do it. I don't get how it's so bad compared to like 2013 and 2014, and it's insane how bad it is now. Very much like Trump, Japan nationalist message. Woke ass Superman getting money. Is it seriously woke? I didn't see it was woke. I saw that people didn't like it very much. Did it have some woke stuff in it? Do you watch anime? No, I've never watched anime before, honestly. Chad has high standards, no tattoos, no politics, no piercings. All single angry men. That's not even that high standards. I mean, most women, it's just like, if you've got an arm of tattoos, it disqualifies you. I'm not interested. There's no way. Politics, I mean, you don't want to debate. You don't want to debate women who you're supposedly is your partner. But even on the Republican side, it's just like most women are already apolitical, anyways. What will happen with South Korea's birth rate in the future? Well, you want to know something about South Korea? This is how successful feminism is. They say it's the capital of feminism, South Korea. Their country is going extinct. So feminism is extremely successful. They've extincted their own country. I'm being exaggeratory, but it's an example. What's wrong with arm tattoos? They're extremely unprofessional. Would you buy a farm? I don't think I'd buy no, I wouldn't buy a farm. That requires a special kind of management, and yeah. I mean, I like rural areas. I think they're peaceful and land and fields and things like that, but a farm, no. I wouldn't mind. I'd go to a farm and check it out, but Ben Shapiro is an Israeli OP. He's designed to trick Americans into supporting Zionism. He's not doing a very good job. In Asian countries, you cannot enter a temple if you have visible tattoos. Well, it's understandable to have standards entering temples. Did you ever leave Ohio? I would leave Ohio, yeah. You've got to get out of Ohio before Vivek turns it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Vivek. I do think Vivek is going to win. I like Ohio, but it's just, there's other reasons to leave. I mean, I don't know. There's really no, there's not too bad taxes in Ohio. I think we're kind of like, I think we were rated the 18th best. They rank the states based on the tax policy where you pay the most and least. I think we're the 18th best in terms of taxes, so a little bit better than, I don't know, maybe I got that wrong. I don't know. I just remember a little bit better than the middle. 18 out of 50. So we get taxed kind of the least out of anyone. Used to like Vivek a lot before the beach photo. Yeah, the beach photo was bad. That's what turned everyone, was the beach photo. That was tough. Vivek proposing caps on Indian immigration would be cool. That's friendly fire. How high do you think XLM will go? Come on, Stellar. Dude, I don't know. I think Stellar's probably already pumped for the cycle, honestly. That's an old one, man. That's an old one. South Korean men are actually incels. That word gets thrown around a lot. They're conservative. They're extremely conservative. South Korean men. Will boomers retiring finally fix anything? No, I don't see how that would fix. I mean, now we're just gonna have a bunch of people that are due a significant amount of Social Security. Well, you know about retire rehire. That's something that you should look into, is retire rehire. People getting access to their 401ks and working another job. You know, when they get to be like 60. There's a lot that the stuff that goes on with these Social Security benefits and stuff. And incel is the new racist. It's starting to become that, isn't it? It's like all these guys are all conservative and oh, they must be incels. It's not. The feminism is birthed, and it's like the biggest thing ever in South Korea. Oh, no wonder their birth rate is down. No, it's because all the guys are incels. That must be it. I'm not blaming the person for saying that, but it's just like, come on. Dude, I don't even know what that says. What's that donation, bro? You're giving me emojis. Rest. Restore. Oklahoma is an extremely red state. You know, interesting about Oklahoma, how many how many tornado scares do you think you get a year? It'd be interesting to see a local in Oklahoma talk about how many times do you think you have to like go in the basement for tornadoes? You know, because isn't Oklahoma, or is it, which state gets the most tornadoes? Is it Kansas? Kansas or Oklahoma? I think it's probably Kansas. What you've come to realize about is a lot of Americans and how racist they are towards Indians. It's pretty disgusting, especially on the right. Should be talked about more. Well, you're also probably online on X a lot. Kansas is super liberal. No, I mean they definitely have cities that are more liberal now, but they're not super liberal overall. They're like a plus 14 Republican state. Yeah, they got some cities that are probably like Lawrence, maybe the Kansas side of Kansas City. Tornadoes come around a lot in April and May, but you never have to get in a shelter. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. But like these posts, like what do you know? There's really there's not much going on. Trump says Obama himself manufactured the Russia hoax. Irrefutable evidence, major threat to the country. CNN must immediately apologize to both him and the pilots who obliterated Iran's sites. Immigration policy. Trump releases, oh wait, wrong files. Well, at this point, you're curious where the reddest place in the U.S. is. A lot of competing factors. The reddest place would be Wyoming. You ever seen the SCF coin? Smoking chicken fish? I never seen that. Dude, it's the same Solana's, $1,000,000 cap coins, It's a Solana coin, I'm sure. Official Tesla diner vid posted on YouTube an hour ago. What does that mean, man? Reddest is West Virginia? I don't believe so. I believe the reddest is Wyoming. Could be worse. You could be recommending Bitcoin to 100x. Now they would. That's actually not accurate. They would say XRP would do 100x. Bitcoin, they know it can only do like a 30x. Do you trust Rapid Report or Rapid Response? I mean, it's just Trump propaganda. It's just that's what it's for. Will you watch Happy Gilmore too? There's a interesting one. That's on Netflix. It's unfortunate they're not doing the movie theater release. There's some decent movies that get released on Netflix though. There really are. So maybe I'll have to take a look at that one. Oklahoma, all 77 counties vote red. I know, it is crazy in Oklahoma. Oklahoma does have that where all the counties, including the one with Oklahoma City. You think Oklahoma City might be blue, but do a detailed video on crypto. I've done a few of them. I've done a few pretty. I don't know how detailed they are, but I've done a few decently detailed ones. Social Network 2 is coming out. That would be one. Who knows if that's happening though? I mean, but it's like even the Social Network 2, I would watch it. I like the actors, but they're not gonna have I guess they're not gonna have Andrew Garfield back. I guess he doesn't fit into the story. But the first Social Network was really good. That's a solid movie. Yeah, man, you got to stop commenting that. I'm not gonna read that. I don't know what it is. All right. Drake and Josh movie. Yeah, I've seen that movie. They're trying to get Basent out for this $2.5 billion renovation that happened. I don't know if it's going to work. Harambe is meta. That Harambe coin deserves to break out. I'll give you that. Do you think they've already created artificial wombs? Probably. I mean, normally they're multiple years ahead of what actually gets released or gets revealed, so they probably are in either the early stages or developmental stages, but what do I know? It's just speculation. Social Network 2, what is it going to be about? Yeah, they're trying to You know, they're trying to milk it, but it's about the meta shit, and you know, it's not going to be as good. You can tell. You know, Zuckerberg got really obsessed with the metaverse and changed the name of Facebook, and it's very strange what happened. But it'll be about him giving the Democrats like $400 million in the 2020 election. I'm sure they'll definitely dive into that. Oh wait, they won't, because liberals think that Elon Musk giving $250 million is like the biggest donation in the history of U.S. elections. What's up? I appreciate that, Mitchell. I appreciate the $5. Doge up 78% in 1 month, 38% in one. Really, Doges? That's good. Asian childless cat ladies beats out all Western women. The West ideology dictates the number of cats, whereas in Asia, it's universally true among all women to live alone. Well, I mean, it's, you know, obviously, it's a lot of those Eastern countries have terrible birth rate. They have terrible population issues. They don't accept immigrants, so their populations go down. Do you think XRP 100x this is likely? Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. It's gonna become more valuable market cap than Bitcoin. Will you do a video about the moon landing? Probably not. Outside of like maybe doing a video on 4 or 5 different conspiracies. Dude, there's so many of these conspiracies. I mean, I shouldn't say so many, but there are a decent amount of conspiracies that are not, they're just not true, and people believe them. And it's interesting to see. The Titanic Federal Reserve one is a good one. That just, Facebook is accessed by 2 billion people daily, so it proves dead internet. Yeah, it's accessed by like a billion bots probably. I don't know about Facebook. I don't know how bad the bot problem is on there. People who don't understand physics think the Earth is flat. Well, it's become kind of more of a joke and a grift. A lot of them, you know, because there is a whole thing about it, and there are people that genuinely believe it. But I think a lot of the influencers pushing it just do it because, you know, you get sucked down into a rabbit hole, and then now you're dependent on it, and you know. Conspiracy or fake? Look into the Finders or Franklin scandal. All right, I'll look into that. I don't think the Redskins name is gonna come back, man. It's just not. It's not very logistically. It's not very feasible for them. They've already changed everything, and they would have to give some type of refunds to people who bought all the Commanders shit, and you know, a bunch of people I'm sure bought Jaden Daniels jerseys. I don't see it happening. Do you play Fortnite? I've only played Fortnite maybe twice. I might play 2 games of Fortnite in my life, maybe back in 2017, 2017 or 2018. Sometime around there. How old are you? 16. Are you a gamer? I'm really not a gamer, man. Maybe if I used to be, not really though. I was never really I never classified myself as a gamer. I'd play for sure. I had a lot of Xbox, different consoles, 4 different ones in total, but no. Are you a Zoomer? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Alex Jones crying. Yeah, Alex does have breakdowns. He'll cry when Trump does something real, he doesn't like. He'll have breakdowns in his car. Soviet Union. The sickle. $50 billion investment. S&P 500, NASDAQ again hit new record highs. Oh, this is one of the photos I used for the thumbnail. Sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities, I don't understand the point of them other than just being a complete cesspool. It's like they're actively trying to make their cities worse. I don't even know what they are. How can you have a sanctuary city? The country has borders. So who are you harboring? Illegal immigrants? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You come off a lot older. Oh, than 16? I've been told that a lot, I know. Some people say I look like I'm like 9 or 10, but I tell them I'm actually 16. Some people think I look like 21. Complete cesspool, exactly what Los Angeles is. I don't get the point of sanctuary. Why do we need sanctuary cities? We've brought in 30 million more immigrants than the second closest country in the last 50 years. Why do we need sanctuary cities? You're 13 at the latest. I know. It's shocking. Some people were like, dude, during the election, they were like, you're about 6 or 7, bro. I was like, yeah, this is the first. It's like, yeah, I was born during Trump's first administration. I was born during at the start of the Biden administration. Yeah, you did get it right, Kevin. You got it right, to be honest. Homan needs to do better than 110K. It's an uphill battle, man. Whether they get 110K or 500K, there would have to be such a major shift in pretty much everything. I mean, how are we going to get deportation under control if there's 20 million illegals here? And we might deport 4 million during the administration. So we're going to deport maybe 25%. You live 5 miles from a sanctuary city in Illinois, and it's like a third world country. Disgusting population is 20K. Whole town is ruined. Well, I mean, I can't see how sanctuary cities would be successful. You harbor in illegal immigrants, temporary people. They don't want to work. They get put up in hotels. How do you answer the what is a woman question? Well, gender and sex are obviously different. I'm joking. Adult female. XX. Were you born in the AM or PM? PM at like 11 o'clock at night. You like my Instagram post? You saw that? Yeah, that was a good post. How many times are we gonna see this stuff?
Literally, the greatest force for diplomacy that the United States had, I can attest to my personal experience, is USAID.
His crack cocaine dealer told him. So we know it's real.
When I look into your eyes, I see a love.
Oh, this is what the dude was talking about. Wow. Tesla Diner. I thought it was some type of shilling bot.
That never dies. Every moment, every day, I know you'll never. Hearts entwined forever true. Every breath I take, I'm loving you. I love you forever, yes, forevermore. Through every season, every shore.
So this is they made a Tesla Diner. Yeah, I the architecture of it is something like that. The building code would not allow for something like that if it was in my city. You're not building something like that in my city. That is not going to be allowed. It's a weird design. I mean, it's but they build anything and thought it was AI. Yeah, I think that's the goal. That's the goal with Tesla. They're going to have Optimus come and
American Jews are very proud now. Jews around the world are very proud because we, these guys were out to murder us and do another Holocaust. The Holocaust, the Nazis murdered 6 million Jews. There are now 7 million Jews, close to 8 million Jews in Israel. They want to murder all of us, and they say so. And all of a sudden, unlike the Holocaust 80 years ago, we were completely defenseless, and they butchered us. Now we're not defenseless, but we are targeting them. And even though we have to fight the vilification that is happening in America too, ultimately, people join winners. American Jews are.
people join winners. Why do McDonald's buildings look so boring now? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they definitely redesigned them. It's more of a modern look with McDonald's. There's no character to them. Yeah, but that's a lot of the fast food places have redesigned their buildings. Still can't really believe this happened. Desperate with all the guys. With him and the Island Boys. The Nelk Boys. It's the Nelk Boys. Bro, what are you posting? See Myron Gaines debate Jews in Miami. I saw a few clips from that. Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing though. Yeah, that this stuff about Bruce Willis was really sad. No, the Dems don't take Hunter seriously. They don't. I'm not even sure what this was. I think he went on like Andrew Callahan, which is like a comedian, and it's not even like a real thing.
I can't put down the cup. I can't put down the cup. I can't put down the cup.
Well, she vaped in Congress or some shit.
Talk us through what happens next, and if you don't mind, could you narrow it down to Comey, Clapper, Brennan, and Barack Obama? Will Barack Obama be able to claim presidential immunity on this? Can you claim presidential immunity if you're committing a crime?
You can. He might be able to claim presidential immunity for his actions while he was the president of the United States, and they'll have to litigate that, right? That it's unclear whether he'll ultimately get presidential immunity for this, but I'll tell you this, it's an ongoing criminal conspiracy, and presidential immunity covers his actions while he's the president of the United States. They don't cover his actions when he's the former president of the United States, and when he's participating in the cover-up of this conspiracy, then he doesn't have presidential immunity.
Can you explain what the statute of limitations is here, Mike? Is there any worming, snake slithering wiggle room here? Are there any technicalities that they're going to be able to hide under a rock over?
Yeah, remember this back in 20.
Benny Johnson is annoying, such an ass kisser. Yeah, Benny tried to do a moral standing, I guess, against the Epstein stuff. I don't know. You know, when he does all the events and you do all that stuff, you're entrenched. You know, your career is tied to the support. It's a nothing burger. Yeah, that's what I think the same thing. It's just, what are we going to do here? We're going to do this again with Obama and tweet out all the stuff about how he's going to jail. And we did this with Hillary. We see how this plays out. Right, and it's funny how they're starting to talk about this right now, but Yeah, great thumbnails, right? What is used to make those thumbnails? I mean, you should see the beginning of some of those videos too. Politician going to jail is, yeah, it's, I just can't see it happening. You know, they constantly talk about it. But now we know there was a December 8th presidential daily brief they brought into a report that says Russians didn't thwart election. I know, but this is the problem with stuff like that. Couldn't they just say we got reports after that? I mean, just because there's a single report that says, well, we've confirmed they haven't done anything, couldn't they just have gotten a, say they got a report from 2 days later that says there might have been stuff? Or, I mean, it seems a little bit more nuanced than a single report coming out and then being like, all right, that's it. I'm just saying, like, it's all muddled. You know, you'd love to get Obama on in some type of clip saying something behind the scenes. That's where you'd really get him. You know, that would have the impact. YouTube has gone downhill ever since Google put an Indian in charge. You know, YouTube's gone downhill with the shorts now. You know, they shouldn't have the shorts show up on search results. That's another thing people were talking about with YouTube, and I agree 100%. You know, when they show up, it becomes a problem because nobody wants to see a bunch of shorts. And you could kind of change it in the filters to video only or 4 minutes to 12-minute format or whatever. Pelosi behind the scenes in the car denying security for January 6th. Yeah, well, listen, I think with January 6th, to me, their story gets destroyed if it is true that Trump asked for National Guard and they didn't give it to him 3 days before. If that actually, that's what the House Republicans said. They said Trump asked for National Guard because if they get National Guard, there's no way there's a break-in if you have National Guard there because they had nobody defending that front area where they breached because they had a perimeter set up. You know, but if you have National Guard, I feel like there's no way they breach. So if Trump asks for him and he doesn't get him, and it's pretty insane that you know they wanted it to be as bad as possible. Thoughts on WNBA players upset about their salaries? Yeah, I mean it's just more of the same feminist slop. It just doesn't, you know. People say, well, they lose money for the league, and yeah, it's just like I don't know. The other thing with WNBA that you have to know, their season is way shorter than the NBA. It's not even close. The idea that they should be paid equally, even if you were paid equally, you wouldn't. There's nothing about equality. You know, we live in a capitalist country. Why would you be paid equally? It doesn't make any sense. You're paid for how much your league produces in terms of revenue. We don't live in a socialist country, so why would they demand to be paid equally? I don't. That's not the function of our economic system. Is there a way to hide YouTube Shorts altogether? That's a really that's something they need to come up with where you can put put it in the put it in your settings, hide all shorts, and then it just goes back to the old style where it just shows the videos long form. No vertical videos. Last gasp of the George Floyd slop. Yeah, I mean, Portnoy bitching about WNBA players. Well, it's a very normie topic. I mean, obviously people are going to be mad about it. They're demanding pay for, you know, something they haven't produced. Their league is not, they don't get enough eyeballs on them to produce anything, and then they hate the only player that does, Caitlin Clark. You know, George Droid AI. Yeah, I remember that coin. They should lower the goal. You mean the hoop? Yeah, I've heard that they talk about lowering the hoop possibly so they could dunk. Women's league doesn't make money because the games are trash and the best player they have is not all that. Well, it's slower. It's just worse than the NBA. It is what it is. They're not going to be good as NBA players. They're not as athletic. They're not as entertaining. The games are short. Yeah, the games even I believe are 10-minute quarters as well. And they only have like 30 games a season. The NBA has 82. I mean, there's a number of reasons this can be explained. It's just they also have less teams in the league, so it's just less overall revenue anyways. And they're talking about doing expansion, which is just insane. Yeah, let's expand the WNBA. That would go. That would be great. You know, they have Caitlin Clark. They finally get some decent ratings, and they fucking want to expand it by 8 teams. Like, that'll work. I just cracked my jaw. People get burnt out from basketball too. Yeah, but I don't even know if they get burnt out. I mean, yeah, that's another thing to where it's in the summer and the NBA finishes and nobody wants to watch it after. But it's just like it's just not as good of a product. It is what it is. The crack, yeah, that was a loud crack. Honestly, that was a really loud crack. I'm waiting for my fucking crypto to go up. Hunter Biden rant. I saw the clips from it, yeah. Trump Vance 2028. God bless USA. Oh, man. Flag football championship. I never seen that, no.
President Trump marking 6 months in the White House.
It is my honor to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump immediately getting to work with a remarkable show of the use of executive power.
We've never seen anything like this. There's 20,000 people cheering for.
Are you a good 3-point shooter? I haven't shot in a while. I'm a decent shooter.
Every executive order signed.
President Trump comes in and immediately begins taking action to fix each and every one of these fires that the Democrats started.
It's 6 months delivering on the agenda. This ultimately is promises made, promises kept by the president.
This is a message to the rest of the world. The days of ripping off America and Americans are officially over.
The Trump archives are a series of near impossible feats.
We have the safest, most secure border in the history of this nation.
Border crossings have dropped so much that federal agents now outnumber illegal crossers.
He had a mandate and he's delivering on it. The American economy is better for it.
NASDAQ and S&P both hitting all-time highs.
Gas prices are down. Retail sales are up. $2 trillion in international financial agreement and record tariff revenue.
The USA is on a roll, culminating in the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4th.
A bill for and by the people.
Thanks to this bill, Trump could resign tomorrow and still point to an enduring legacy.
And he's full steam ahead for America.
This movement that President Trump has started is only getting bigger. It has more energy, more enthusiasm.
What he's going to do is show up and work hard and deliver every day for the American people.
You're watching history, so buckle up, because the next 3.5 years will probably be just as busy.
Sean Hannity? So that's Trump's power clip after 6 months, basically. That's the propaganda clip. Feels like a movie trailer. Yeah, they did drum it up like kind of like a movie trailer. Dude, there was no British Open. I don't even think it was the British Open. Trump 2032. Yeah, that's maybe. What you mean? You mean Barron? Barron Trump 2032. You like vitamin water? There's not much taste to vitamin water, man. There's really not. I don't really like vitamin water that much. Yeah, the British Open was not the one that happened. You guys, the British Open. When does the British Open happen? The British Open is like oh, it did happen. I didn't realize it was the British Open. No, that's the Open Championship. Oh, that is the British Open. Yeah. Will the Epstein stuff go away eventually with the news cycle, or will it drag till the last day of the admin? Well, it'll always be in the back of the mind, but it'll eventually go away from the foremost talking point. I mean, that's just the reality of the news cycle. It's going to go away at some point. There's going to be new news. There already has been new news. They're already talking about the Obama stuff now. It's constitutional and legal. It's not, though, man. You have to understand. It's the 12th. Trump is actually not qualified to run for president. He's disqualified according to, I believe, the 12th Amendment. You cannot, because he's already served 2 terms, you cannot run again. So in the Constitution, it says he's disqualified. What if a Dem wins in 2028 and releases the real Epstein files? I don't think that's going to happen. It seems very unlikely. I mean, what even are the files at this point? They already covered him up for 4 years. That's your opinion? No, it's not an opinion. That's according to the Constitution. Also, Trump running in 2028 with his current health, it's just not realistic. It's the 22nd Amendment. Yeah, but there's a workaround to the 22nd if he runs as VP, but he can't. This is what it is. The 22nd is for, yes, the 2 terms as president. The 12th is what they were trying to get with a workaround. If you look up the 12th Amendment, it'll say you cannot run as VP if you've already served 2 presidential terms. So he's disqualified from running for VP, which is what they were trying to do. They were trying for a workaround. It's unfortunate for JD, but when he has his time to run, he's going to be battered with the Epstein stuff. He can only blame Trump for it. Yeah, I don't know how the dynamic will work with Vance when he runs with that. You're going to Greenland? I highly doubt you're going to Greenland for what? I don't think you're going to Greenland. If there was one question to ask Greenland, I don't even know. I mean, ask the locals if they want to be independent of Denmark. Vance 28, Vivek 32, Musk 28, Fuentes 32. Dude, I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, Musk can't even run. No, I never saw Superman. How fast do you drive? I drive You know, like 5 miles over, 5 to 7 miles over the speed limit. Basically, it's the common thing. Or sometimes I'll drive like 1 mile over. Yes, he can if he only serves 2 years. No, he can't. He's ineligible because he served 2 terms already. It's hard for people to understand this. You're going to Greenland to find a hot new wife. Nook. Nook, Greenland. Yeah, based. Probably JD till 36, then Gabbard. And that you can't predict. You really think we're gonna get? So we're gonna get Trump for 4 years, then we're gonna get Vance for 8 years, so 12 straight Republican years, then Gabbard again. That's not how U.S. politics works. I mean, maybe you'll be right. Maybe it'll be an outlier where we have a huge reign of Republican presidents, but if Trump used Greenland invasion, if wait, what? Trump will use the Greenland invasion if the Epstein scandal doesn't go away. Huh. Yeah, that you got that in your back pocket, I guess. Trump can run. They stole 2020. All right, man. No, they don't switch it. It switches because the country keeps going back and forth, Republican, Democrat. Just look at recent history. You had even the recent stuff. Republican, Reagan, Clinton, Democrat, Bush, Republican, Obama, Democrat, Trump, Republican, Biden, Democrat, Trump, Republican. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. Dems aren't having any kids. Yeah, but is it really going to affect it that much? I don't know if it's going to affect it that quickly. Maybe in the 2050s it'll have an effect, or the 2040s. I don't know if it affects it that early, man. Super Mario Bros. Or Smash? Probably Mario. All right, guys. I'll see you.